Have you ever felt like your prayers were hitting a brass ceiling? You pray, you believe, and you try to do the right thing, yet you remain stuck not out of rebellion or laziness, but in a quiet, frustrating season where nothing seems to move. Under a culture of instant downloads and overnight success, this silence feels like a punishment. But what if the silence isn't absence, but a classroom? What if the delay isn't a cosmic holding pattern, but the sound of your spiritual foundation being set? Scripture tells us that God never rushes purpose, because rushed purpose collapses. To understand why you are in this divine construction zone, we must look back to the very beginning, to the moment the first shadow fell across the light of heaven. Long before the world existed, there was an angel of unparalleled brilliance, Lucifer. He was a leader of worship, an archangel of wisdom and power who reflected the very glory of God. But in the quiet of his high position, poison began to stir. Despite his honor, Lucifer became proud, his heart filled with vanity, desiring to be worshipped like the Creator himself. This pride birthed the first rebellion in the cosmos. Lucifer convinced a third of the heavenly host to turn against the Almighty. A fierce and terrible battle erupted in the heart of heaven. Michael, the archangel, leading the loyal forces, struck back with a sword of pure light. Defeated, Lucifer and his followers fell like meteors, cast into a realm far from the light, the birth of hell, a place of darkness and separation. From this fall emerged the 7 princes of hell, each a master of a different shadow. Lucifer for pride, Leviathan for envy, Satan for wrath, Mammon for greed, Belphegor for sloth, Beelzebub for gluttony, and Asmodeus for lust. They roamed the earth, whispering lies to make us forget our divine origin, leading many away from kindness and truth. If you feel stuck today, remember the evidence of those who walked before you. Joseph had prophetic dreams of greatness, yet his path led through a pit and a forgotten dungeon. David was anointed king as a boy, but he spent years running for his life, hiding in cold caves. Moses, raised as a prince of Egypt, spent 40 years as a forgotten shepherd in the isolation of the desert before he ever saw a burning bush. God was more committed to their character than their comfort. He was building the depth required to carry the weight of their future calling. Just as a skyscraper spends months or years building its foundation deep underground before a single floor rises into the skyline, God is working in your unseen places. He is teaching you how to hear His voice in the quiet, without the noise of the crowd. When the time for action finally came, the world trembled. Moses confronted the stubborn Pharaoh, and God sent 10 plagues to break the chains of oppression. Water turned to blood, swarms of frogs, and a terrifying darkness that lasted 3 days. When the Israelites were trapped between the Red Sea and Pharaoh's chariots, Moses spoke a truth that echoes into your season of being stuck. Stand still, and you will see how God will save us today. The waters parted, creating a path of escape no one could have imagined. Then came the hero of the story, Jesus Christ. He challenged the princes of darkness not with swords, but with kindness, patience, and generosity. He showed us that with faith, nothing is impossible, turning water into wine, feeding 5,000 with 5 rolls and 2 fish, and calming the fiercest storms with a single command: peace, be still. On a high mountain, his face shone like the sun, and his clothes became dazzling white. This transfiguration gave us a glimpse of the heavenly realm, proving that love and life are stronger than any darkness. Even when he was crucified, the story did not end. He entered the very gates of hell, a giant dark cave full of shadows, and broke the iron bars, leading trapped souls into the light. His resurrection is the cornerstone of hope, the proof that the waiting season of death is merely a prelude to a new beginning. The future holds a vision given to John on the island of Patmos. He saw a book sealed with 7 seals. As they open, we see the struggles of humanity: conquest, war, famine, death. But the final seal brings a deep silence, a chance for the world to reflect before the King of Goodness returns on a white horse. So on Judgment Day, the sky will change, and everyone will see him sitting on a majestic throne. It is a day of justice and fairness, where every wrong is dealt with, and the book of life is opened. For those who chose to follow the light, a new, perfect world awaits heaven, a place with streets of gold, crystal rivers, and no more sadness or pain. So if you feel like you are wandering in the wilderness today, do not be afraid. Your struggle is not a sign of God's disapproval. It is a sign of His investment in you. He is crafting you into someone who can handle the weight of what he is about to give. This spiritual journey is like the forging of a diamond. Though the carbon is trapped in darkness and under immense pressure, it is that very environment, not the comfort of the surface, that transforms it into something of eternal radiance and value. Trust the process. The work being done in the dark is what will sustain you when you finally step into the light. Because in the end, goodness prevails. Stand for what is right, keep looking for the light, and remember, the work is worth the wait. May your life bring him glory. See you in the next journey through the scriptures.